Madam Chair.
Mr. Shuler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Sagerberg, I think you're exactly right. When you look at the growth of some of the other countries throughout this world, China, India, Japan, the dollars continue to fall. And it's kind of embarrassing. I had my children up this week. They're in Washington. And whether it's been in committees or on the House floor, I see the lack of maturity, quite frankly, in this House of Congress, where members are actually, parties are fighting against one another for own political posturing or political gain of power, when we're allowing other countries to surpass us. Until this House, until we change the dynamics of this Congress and on both sides of the aisle, we're only going to continue to fall further and further behind. And whether we're talking about ANWR or we're talking about drilling, I mean, the statistics are so in favor of, I mean, we've got just in the 68 million acres that we have that are available. I'm on the Natural Resources Committee, 68 million acres that are available for drilling today. That would be 81% of all, both onshore and offshore, the continental shelf, 81. We would actually produce, just on the 68 million acres, 4.8 million barrels of oil a day, 44.7 billion cubic feet of natural gas a day. That would double our capacity of petroleum. And it would increase, just in oil production, it would increase 75% of our natural gas. But yet we stand on the House floor and people try to become Hollywood stars, if you will, because of C-SPAN. And they talk about this and talk about it when we actually need to unite together as a body, the people's house, and say, what can we do to better our country and to make sure that we remain at the top? And we may remain at the top for not only my children, but for generations to come. So I think you're exactly right. When other countries are surpassing, it's because of it's been this way for a long time. I mean, I'm a new member here. And so I think you're right. I do have a couple of questions, and yeah, sure, yes.
$1 billion.
Could I just respond just briefly? Yes. If you need a lesson, I'm old enough to give you one, which is when I was elected to City Council, I'm a Republican in the San Francisco Bay Area. I served on every transportation body there was available to me. It's because it was practicality and not what party I belonged to. So you're right, we all got to work together. It's the truth. We all work for one another, and we're all the citizens. The other place we have to not overlook is Canada. The oil sands projects today is generating extraordinary amounts of oil and revenue for Canada, and we are their #1 consumer. But it's the new technologies that they're using, because years ago they thought it was impossible to extract that oil, and today they're doing it successfully. So there are also new technologies. So for those that are afraid of the environmental impacts, clearly we sell a product because we care about the environment too. But there are new technologies that we should be looking at as well.
And also, just to clarify that, what country do we send more of our refined gasoline to? Canada. Yeah. So I think we're about, I think, 3 million barrels a day of refined gasoline that goes to, and diesel fuel that goes to Canada. One more question, Mr. Fabian. If you look at how did the airlines calculate this? And I'm just going to tell you my story for the week. Everyone has that story, but you're charged $25 for a bag. So what does everyone then try to do? They want to take it on board with them to the overhead luggage space. Well, we were here at the airport. Every single person carried on every bag they possibly could to their limit. There wasn't enough space. They had to check 25 bags. We were delayed to get en route. So then we sat at the end of the tarmac, and they said, because we're delayed out of the terminal, then we were delayed. I missed my flight, my connecting flight. So, which normally takes about door to door about 4 hours to get home. I could have driven 8 hours by the time. Why did the airlines, I mean, didn't they see that this is going to be a problem of everybody trying to, I mean, there was enough overhead space before these $25 prices. Of course, people's going to try to save money and take as much as they can on board. Did they not take that in consideration?
Well, unfortunately, I think it's an airport by airport scenario, and people who will carry on bags at a national airport or LaGuardia Airport are a lot different than those who will try to carry on bags in Orlando or Las Vegas or other places. And I think the airlines are now beginning to look at that and see, and at least before the planes are boarded, look at how much carry-on bags are going to come on and try to see if there's a better way of perhaps putting some of those bags somewhere else. But, you know, we have a great airport airline system in this country with hundreds of airports, and unfortunately every single one of them is so dramatically different and carries different types of passengers. But you're right, National and LaGuardia are particular issues for carry-on bags.
Thank you, Madam Chair.